All right, welcome back, everyone. We have a very special guest with us today. We almost had to drag her onto set just to get her here, so you guys should be very appreciative of the fact that she is here. I had a very lengthy welcome introduction message, but, I won't talk her talk. I'll let her do that. We have Miss Kristin Schafer with us today.
Hello. I'm happy to be here. Terrified, but happy to be here.
We'll make sure that the vibes are pretty light and fun.
Okay, good.
Okay. So would you like to let everyone know what you do here at Nancy Campbell?
Yeah, sure. So I'm one of the vice principals here at Nancy Campbell. I've been here since 2015. So I just celebrated 10 years working for the school. Mm-hmm. And I have had lots of different roles here. I started as a very part-time teacher, and kind of grew into joining the administrative team as a guidance counselor. The school really supported me in getting my education in guidance and career specialty. And from there, that would have been a couple years in, I really helped a lot with transitioning the school to online during the pandemic, and then joined the administrative team as a vice principal in 2021.
So long story short, you've done everything.
Oh, many things, but not all. Not everything, but many things.
She's humble. She's humble.
Yes, yeah.
She's done quite a lot.
Yeah.
She's done quite a lot.
A lot.
So I don't know if you just woke up one day and you're like, I want to be a teacher when you were a kid. But if that wasn't the case, how'd you get here?
So one of the ways I think I'm able to relate to students is through honesty and through sharing what really was my situation. I was not an incredible high school student. I think I was like 50% like a teacher's dream if you were teaching a subject I really loved, or I was having a good day, or I was in like grade 12 and past my kind of hooligan stage. But I also struggled tremendously in high school. I was very critical of some of my teachers. And in 10th grade, after another dull and dreary history lesson, I said out loud to a few of my friends, and hopefully not my teacher, that I thought I could do a far better job than she could. Mm-hmm. And that was really sort of the start of my interest and curiosity in teaching. But it wasn't until I did a co-op in 11th grade. I did a co-op at a local elementary school, and I worked with a teacher who taught subjects to all grades. And it was in a conversation with her that she really encouraged me to pursue classroom teaching. I was initially thinking I might be an educational assistant, and she encouraged me to pursue just being a classroom teacher myself. And I started to think about university, which I had never thought about before, and kind of made some changes happen. I was on the college pathway. I had to do a lot of changes with my credits and stay an extra semester, maybe an extra year, and get some credits that I was missing, some U and M level credits. And so changed my pathway completely from a college level pathway to a university level pathway in my last year of high school, or last year and a half of high school. And knew when I was doing my undergrad that it would lead to Teachers College, and also knew going into Teachers College that it would lead to something that allowed me to work in a one-to-one capacity with students more than like a traditional instructional environment.
So what you're saying is you're here because you wanted to spite your history teacher. No, I'm joking.
Kind of in a very, very loose way.
No.
Just that I really thought that youth deserved better.
All right.
And I could see that as a young people, that if you're going to work in education, you should do it because you have a passion in you to do it, and that you want them to learn and you want to keep them engaged, and 15-year-olds are tough to engage. So a little bit of cynicism in me at that stage, which I think is pretty common. But that cynicism put a spark in me that allowed me to go further than I had initially envisioned for myself. And I think I do a decent job.
I think so too. Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
I feel like you kind of touched on it by calling it one of your passions, but her office is always full of students. Like they really should be in class, and they are, I promise, if you're one of their parents. But they go to her for a lot of support, whether it be with guidance with classes or just emotionally.
Yes.
Her office actually has this big window in it, so she can't even hide. Like even if she wanted to, she can't hide. So like they know when she's in there. Yeah. They know when you're in there.
Yeah, and easy to find.
How does that make you feel? Like I know obviously all the staff here have an open door policy, but yours is like torn off the hinges.
Significantly open door. Yeah.
So how does that? How'd you get there, and how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel really good, honestly. Like, I mean, I'm really grateful to be a trusted support person to young people. How I got there, I think it takes a lot of hard work to earn the trust of young people. They are discerning, as they should be. I mean, it's a stage of life where you are trying to figure things out and you're questioning everything. And so I think just listening, really like authentically, truly no judgment, caring about their successes and their areas of struggle or challenge. Like even if something seems like a small problem or, something that an adult might sort of like, wait until you're older and you have real problem kind of thing. That is their real problems. They are not an adult. They're not in a position where they have a family and a mortgage and a job. They're in a position that this is their reality. And so I think keeping aware that that this is real for them and that's okay. And it should be because it's what's appropriate for this stage of life, that their problems are really important to address and their words are really important to hear and to take in, and to, I think, consistently being there to support people. So, I'm not saying that you have to work somewhere 10 years in order to garner trust, but I do think, that it's probable that someone maybe, you have a friend or a sibling in a grade younger than you or a couple grades younger. Oh, you should talk to Ms. Schafer. She's been really helpful. That might trickle down the pipeline too. So that could be an element of it. I think that's probably how I got here. How I remain here is that I don't lose track of how valuable that is and how important that is for someone to really just feel seen and heard.
Right.
Yeah.
Basically, she's just that girl.
Yeah.
They know to come up to you.
Yeah. And I mean, I think, I don't know if other people would agree necessarily, but I think the fact that I'm very clear about what I can help with and what I can't help with is important too. Like I can listen and assist to a certain degree, but there's things that I'm not a professional or, there's things that I know someone could do better than me. And I'm not afraid to encourage other people to join in on helping solve a problem if it's not my area or seeking a professional's help.
Out loud, like I've noticed. And do you find it kind of hard to do sometimes though? Like, because you might see someone struggling and you're like, they might find Ms. Schafer as a spot as a person that they can open up to like emotionally in that way. But like you say, again, I'm not a therapist in that way either.
But
you do want to support someone. Yeah. How do you draw that boundary with the students that you mentor or any student that comes to you to rely on you emotionally? That's
taken some time, I think, like to be honest. I mean, I've always drawn that line, but I might have had to first go and ask for some support in that and then go back to the student and say, had to think about this more or whatever. But I think just confidence in myself and in the fact that I am still a valuable resource to people despite not being able to solve every problem. And being very honest about what my limitations are in advance of taking something in. I think information benefits everybody, and that's just information, right? It's I'm just telling you the reality of what situation we're in, is that this is what I'm able to handle. If it exceeds this is kind of the progression or the natural progression of how things have to be. And that's somebody's right to hear those things. And I think honestly, if a student even like totally hears that, sometimes maybe they don't, just where they might be in a crisis or whatever. But I think if they hear that, it just kind of sets the stage for like, okay, this is the beginning maybe of a solution that might be multi-tiered.
I like that. That's actually a genuine answer.
Okay.
Multi-tiered.
Good.
Like
I'm glad.
a lot of parents, especially at this age, with the students that we're dealing with, like 12 to 18, they struggle to connect in that way. And, students always seem to be drawn to you. And, some people are going to say, well, because she's cool and like whatever it might be. But you're also a mother yourself. In what ways has motherhood kind of changed your approach to, or how you view certain things in terms of your relationship with students? How do you maintain? Because you've always been cool, even like when I went here. So like it's she's been on a run.
How do I maintain the cool?
She's been on a run. Like Bennett behind the camera can attest as well, man. She's been on a 10-year run, and not even presidents can manage that. They're term limited, but you're not.
Have it or you don't.
Okay, there you go. She's talking her stuff, but it's a genuine question. How would you advise parents to like approach this age?
Okay.
Not saying that you have to tell them how to parent.
I don't.
But like, what are like tips and tricks of the trade that you picked up?
I think so how parenting my own children has impacted my ability to do my job is that I have learned that no problem is ever like too small. Like if, one of my kids doesn't want to eat an apple because I didn't cut it the right way, that's still a genuine problem, right?
How do you react? Are you like, oh my God?
How do I react?
Don't eat the apple.
I react with an eye roll secretly, and then I go and do things how they want it to be done with a conversation, typically like, well, it's still an apple, but, because their problems at 2 and 3 are exactly like what I was saying about a teenager.
They're not teenagers. They're 2 and 3.
They're 3. They're 3.
Like the whole apple thing.
But just the same as with the teen, if I have an expectation that they behave like a teenager behaves like an adult, or a 3-year-old behaves like a teenager, I'm going to be the one disappointed. I have to have expectations that are in line with who someone is and where they're at. So a 3-year-old can meet my expectations when I'm expecting them to behave like a 3-year-old.
Right.
So they've expected something from me. It didn't come as they wanted or thought it was going to. And so that's a crisis. That's a problem for them. As like crazy to navigate as it is, that's just something you have to deal with. And anybody who's had kids will know that. When they're teenagers, it's not really a whole lot different from what I can tell from working as someone who just works with youth. Parenting teenagers, I don't know anything about yet. But I still have to care about what they care about. I got to kind of like pay attention to what they're paying attention to. I won't always watch all of the shows and movies that are on their radar, but I'll at least know the basics.
Yeah.
Like I can't possibly watch all of that stuff, but I'll at least know the basics, the storyline, the whatever, what everybody was like is into about a certain thing. Listen to some of the music, pay attention to some of the stuff on social media, because I think it's not about being relatable anymore. I don't think any of them really should be able to relate to someone in my position. I'm a mom. I'm, like 20 years older than them. There's only so much relating that can be done. The relating that happens is that we have a shared human experience,
right,
a shared feminine experience, a shared high school student experience, people that are within this Nancy Campbell community, people that have had classes that have, challenged them or they've struggled in, have gotten report cards or grades that they are scared to show to their parents. Like there's all ways that I can relate to them, but from my past self. In terms of relating now, it's just that I'm a human being. I'm a person who wants good things and, for my community, for my world, for my family, all of that stuff. So in terms of, creating a line of trust, I think part of it is that I'm not their parent. There's a safety in that, I think, to some degree, that you have someone you can confide in and talk to who's not your parent, because the stakes are different.
Right.
And I don't know why that is. And I don't know how to explain that, but the stakes are different.
But like, I feel like for you, it's like a rather unique situation.
Yeah.
Because like, again, like you just say, you stay hip with what's going on.
Sort of.
But how do you?
I try to pay attention. I don't know.
No.
Hips to stretch.
No, that's what they're calling it.
Okay.
I picked up on that.
Okay.
But you're beating what they call the UNC allegations.
What does that mean?
Well, like, you're older and they're not like calling you UNC. I'm not that much older and I'm getting UNC allegations. And it's just like, hey, you wouldn't understand that because like you're pretty old. And I'm like, I wouldn't understand feeling anxious about a situation because that's really what you're feeling right now. And it's I feel like, every person, like when they go through their teenage years are like, oh my God, I'm the first person to ever experience this. And you would never understand.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've just noticed with some students, like especially with you, like I think they just assume that you already know. Whereas with some other staff and even sometimes with their parents, they're just like, you don't get it. So like
I need to risk all this by asking what UNC means.
Oh, UNC just means uncle.
Oh, I thought maybe uncool.
So it turns out that she isn't hip to what's been going on.
I've tricked you all.
No, it's not uncle, but it just means like uncle. Like you're just unc, you're older.
Okay. Well,
yeah,
I embrace it. I wear the I'm older. Yes, I'm older, but it's like the same conversation. Bennett probably maybe remembers. You might remember. But a lot of students will remember that, like in English class specifically, when we're about to read Shakespeare, and a lot of kids start to be like, why? Like the language or this or that, or why do I care about something that someone went through in 1496? Because those things still happen, right? Romeo and Juliet is about two people getting together whose parents disagree. That still happens all the time. There's Midsummer Night's Dream is really similar. We've got a girl who likes a guy who doesn't like her. He likes another girl, but that girl's with a different guy and they're going to run away together because their parents don't want them to be together. So I say the same thing when we're studying Shakespeare is like we have a shared experience to things that have happened to people no matter how long ago. So it's kind of the same, yes, I'm older and yes, I might not understand specifically exactly, but I bet I can understand the gist because I have also been there because I'm a person who's struggled. So I think it's kind of like wearing the UNC thing a little bit differently. Like, yeah, I'm older. Like, yes, I'm not actually trying to be 20.
Yeah.
I don't want to be. There's not enough money in the world for me to go back to high school. And I'm honest about that all the time. This is a very challenging time of life. And I've served my time. I've had that challenge and I've learned a lot from it and continue to learn from other people's experience. So even if it's a specific thing that I didn't go through, I've probably had someone in the chair in my office who's dealt with something similar.
Right.
That I might be able to bring into the equation a little bit.
Right. So, this just shows that you have the capacity to be empathetic, right? I think one thing that's going on right now where it's part of the discourse, the wider discourse when talking about this period of youth and, teenagers in terms of this lack of empathy that seems to be observed where I think some people worry that this next generation coming through doesn't have not the capacity to understand like other people's emotions, but it's almost that they're aloof to other people's feelings where they're like, well, I'm the center of my universe and everything like that. So how do you feel like you take it upon yourself at all to combat that? Or like, how do we, get past that? Have you seen that?
Like there are times if I allow myself to be sort of pessimistic or negative about things that, of course, I've had the moments where I'm like, oh, I'm worried about the future or this generation's a little bit different or whatever. But like realistically, no, if you have an opportunity to get to know young people to the degree that we have in this kind of environment, in any educational environment where you spend a lot of time with adolescents, I don't think that's the reality. I think things look different than they have before. And there's all sorts of reasons why that might be. 20 years ago when I was in high school, I didn't have a cell phone. So if I was waiting for, if I was waiting for a bus, I'm just sitting there twiddling my thumbs or talking to someone or reading a book. I'm not face down on my phone, and that's not the reality anymore. Right. So, but like, should a teenager be blamed for that? I don't know, right? So, I've had moments, of course, where I'm like, oh, I'm a little nervous, but I think when you have an opportunity to get to know these young people and you spend time with these young people, you really do see their truer qualities and values, that how empathetic and caring they are, how loving they are, how I think in a lot of situations they just want to be called upon. And if they're not directly called upon, they might feel a little bit intrusive in some ways. So it's just they're kids growing up in a different time than we grew up in. And that's, I'm sure that's every couple of years, but certainly for the staff here who all went to school 20 or 30 years ago and had this kind of environment, it's totally different. So it's not really fair for me to speak to the challenges that they face. I didn't have social media. I didn't have like news at my fingertips 24/7. I didn't have this like tempting little thing with lights and sounds beckoning me all the time. I had an hour on a desktop that I had to share with my family that was so slow it was like not even worth my time. So it's kind of unfair for me to judge like what barriers they might have. But in terms of like how empathetic they are, I think they really are. They just need kind of like to be asked what they think and how they feel. They don't maybe share it as openly. And that's, who knows why. I'm not sure why they might have those barriers other than what I can see. I'm sure there's lots going on that I know nothing about or very little about.
But I do like that there's some level of understanding in that, instead of just like perpetuating the stereotype that all the teenagers are.
The minute I think that, I can't work in a high school anymore. It just would be such a disservice to them. If I ever were to reach that point where I had an overwhelmingly negative impression of young people or felt like it was too much for me to handle or that I couldn't understand them, it would not be fair for me to work in that environment anymore. I'd have to work with little kids or old people but a different demographic that I could relate to more or understand more or have empathy for myself.
Okay. I mean, at least you're honest with that.
Yeah.
You'd hang it up
if I ever reached that point, I would have to. It just would not be fair to them. Yeah.
All right. Well, right now we're going to play a game. Well, not a game. We're going to have my stage hand me a little whiteboard. Thank you, sir. What a great guy. What a guy. Okay. We're gonna. This is the last thing that we're gonna do. All right. Here you go.
Oh, I have this. Okay.
Yeah, that's your marker.
Okay.
That's your eraser. Should you need it.
Okay.
You will. All right. So I'm just gonna ask you a couple questions.
Okay.
All right. I have a
list. Are you guessing my answer?
No. I just want to hear your. Oh. I want to hear your authentic answer. To some of these prompts. Okay. So, Ms. Schafer has been here for 10 years.
Yes.
Okay. So in your 10 years. What is the most used phrase that you've heard in your office?
The most used phrase I've heard in my office?
Yes.
Okay.
That was really fast. Miss Schafer, I can't. ... I can't always goes to something. I can't do this. I can't stand. I can't be here. I can't handle. So that's like an immediate no when you hear that? You're
No, it's just, well, wait a second. Like just chill, sit down. What do you mean you can't? Because you can. You always can. You don't want to, but you can.
Okay.
I
want to know the funniest excuse that you've ever gotten from a student.
Funniest excuse.
Excuse for might not going to class, turning something in, saying something.
Oh, there's so many excuses.
I'd be really hurt if I end up being one of the answers.
How do I pick just one? Okay, about being late or about uniform or about...
Uniform would be great, actually.
Ooh, there's so many bad ones.
It's funny. You have some people treat uniform as if we're infringing on their rights and freedoms.
Oh my gosh. So. Do they ever? Okay. I get this one a lot.
Oh, this is serious business. It's a whole sentence. The washing machine was broken.
All the time.
Rarely ever is.
Over a weekend. First of all, it rarely ever is. Second of all, between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you didn't have I can't. I won't believe that.
You're not
all the
buying
time.
it?
No, I'm not.
So it's almost as bad as like the dog ate my homework.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, that is the dog ate my homework of the uniform infraction.
Okay. Here we go.
Okay.
One more.
Okay.
We'll do two more.
Okay.
What is one thing you wish you'd known in high school?
Oh. Money is real.
Talk to him.
Money is not like a pretend thing. Like money is real.
Yeah.
So, I watch students on the daily going to Popeyes, going to get a peace tea, getting sushi, whatever. It's like if you just like once out of 5 or 6 days that you do that, just once didn't do that. And instead took those funds and did something different, like just how dramatic that can actually look.
Yeah.
And this, for some people, this doesn't matter as much. But for me, when I was thinking and planning to go to university and really started saving only in 12th grade, it was like a very short amount of time to save a very serious amount of funds. And it was a drop in the bucket. And all I could think for so long was how much I wasted on a pair of sneakers that ultimately did not matter. And I looked like a goof in, honestly. Or, whatever hoodie or whatever sort of thing that I thought was going to solve the problem that was my lack of confidence.
Right.
Or the small piece of gratification that would make my day or week or life better or easier. Like, it's not real, but the money is.
Right.
And I could have done so much more with that, either by saving it for my family, right, by not extracting from an account that I had, access to, or my own money that I was earning, saving it for something bigger, like an investment in myself.
Right.
Like, nobody knows what etnies are anymore, right?
Right.
But at one point, they were very cool. But nobody knows what they are anymore.
Wait,
and they
what,
didn't.
what?
It's a sneaker brand or a skate brand.
A what?
It's
What'd you say?
a skateboard brand.
What is it called?
Etnies.
Oh.
Okay. Nobody knows.
No, he
Long gone.
knows. I don't
he
skate.
knows. Long gone. Maybe long gone. But to me, it was like that was going to somehow make me, cooler or more accepted or loved or celebrated or whatever in high school. And that they're just shoes. They truly don't really matter.
You're expecting people to be like, yo, Kristin, those Ennies are super dope.
Yeah. Oh, they were so white. They were so white for so long.
Who?
My shoes.
Oh, the shoes. Sorry.
My Mr. Clean Magic Eraser worked overtime.
All right,
hit me with my last one.
question. All right. One reminder for educators and for parents, because parents are educators as well.
Yes, they are, yeah.
So one reminder for them as they deal with these students, their kids.
Oh, no. I can't misspell.
Yeah, she's also an English teacher on the side. So I've been waiting to catch her slipping on a couple of these, but haven't yet.
Catch myself.
I'm happy you didn't write broken with a C.
No. Encourage deep breaths, but take them too. So when you're working with young people, my patience is, it wanes like anybody else's. I have to take deep breaths. And I think one of the best things that I have encouraged kids to do over the last number of years is to take them to actually focus on self, hone in on breath. Everything can feel lighter, easier, more manageable after a few deep breaths.
I love that. And I love that
Pretty
we were
simple.
able to finally get her here and do the pod with us.
Give me a break.
Thank you, Ms. Schafer.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
All right. Oh, sorry. Before we end off, please smash that like button. No, but seriously, subscribe, share this with your friends, your family. Make sure that the world gets to see Miss Kristin Schafer on the Nancy Campbell Academy podcast. Catch us here next week, and we will see you then.
Thank you.